Hi everyone, how are you? I'm Tara McDonnell, this is Lindsay Audiino, and we want to welcome you to the first Poetry Slam that the district is having. This is a district initiative because April is Poetry Month, so I know we just had one at Jackson Avenue in the middle school, and this is our version. First off, I would like to thank the Board of Ed, Dr. Nagler, Mr. Gavin, who's here, Jack Waters, Ed Escobar, also here. Where are you? Where'd he go? God, he's like a ninja, that one. In the booth, Captain Fishman, Linda, Ralph Amatrano, Joe Owens, who was a huge help. I wish he was here. Nicole Moriarty, one of our judges. The custodial staff, and our high school administration, Principal Whitney Smith, also here, both rushing from the lacrosse game with Matt. Jenny Fahey, Heather Dvorak, our assistant principal, who's also a judge, and Lisa Downey, and also Katie Shadingham, one of our ILs, who we also convinced to be a judge. Okay. So yeah, Lindsay.
She knows I hate doing this. Okay. Welcome. Yeah, she's making me do it. We're so happy that you're here. We knew it was going to be. Thanks, that. I just did TED Ed with her, refused to say a word. So tonight really is about the poets and the students. It's about the art of the spoken word, the power behind their performance. I know it seems like there are so few of you here, but they really feed off of your excitement as well. So if there's something that they're saying or they're doing and you can't help but say, ooh, just do it, because they feed off of it. It's awesome, and that's the type of vibe we want here tonight. Ms. McDonnell and I are just delighted to be able to give them a voice, an opportunity to just speak their minds, this platform to speak what they've been wanting to speak for so long. We've been blown away by their progress that we've seen every week that they've come to work on their poetry with us. And we're excited for you to experience their grit and their passion, their hard work, and just everything that they put into this. I'm going to say this no matter what, because I don't know if people will trickle in late, but some of the content is pretty powerful, and it's intense. So if there are little ones in here, if you know that somebody's coming in here, you might want to just keep that in mind for a second, but we hope you enjoy the show. We're so excited.
My name is Josie Jones, and I'll be your host for the evening. Tonight we'll celebrate the power of the spoken word and the opportunity to speak our minds. Our poets, myself included, are excited to perform the original work that we have been creating and performing for months in our spoken word meetings. I want to hear you give it up for our incredible poets this evening. There are 7 of us in grades 8 through 12, and we will be competing for the title of MHS Poetry Slam Champion, a friendly competition, of course. Now, the rules of the Poetry Slam are as follows. No profanity, it is a school function. Poets are allowed to read off their paper, and each poem has to be the poet's original construction. Finally, the poets will be judged on both writing and performance. We have 3 judges with us tonight who wear many different hats in the fields of education. Our first judge is Dr. Nicole Moriarty. She has worked as a teacher, building level administrator, and now an EML director, where she has successfully grown our bilingual program and provides reading and writing services for a wide variety of students. Dr. Moriarty, seeing as this event is brand new to Mineola High School, what advice would you give to our poets tonight?
Just be beautiful. Be everything that you possibly can be.
Our next judge is Ms. Heather Dvorak. She started her career as an English teacher where she helps students build their literacy skills on a daily basis. She continues to do this by working closely with teams of teachers as one of Mineola High School's assistant principals. Ms. Dvorak, what advice would you give our poets?
Own the mic, have fun.
Our last and final judge, Miss Katie Shanahan, has been an instructional leader in Mineola School District for the last 3 years, and she, along with Dr. Moriarty, have been helping the other schools with their poetry slam events. So she has been privy to what the younger poets have been creating. Ms. Shanahan, what are you looking for tonight?
I am looking for expression and enunciation.
Ooh, fancy words. It's a good thing I'm an English student. Awesome. Okay. I'm even more excited for the show now. At the end of the show, you, the audience, will be given the opportunity to ask the poets questions in a brief Q&A session to make sure you pay attention to every word. Now, my first poem here is about an English teacher's worst nightmare. Incorrect grammar pronouns. T. Today I woke up and it didn't feel like me. H. Hello, ma'am, miss, she's, hers. E. Explain again. Give me a second. T. Today I woke up and it didn't feel like me. H. Hello, ma'am, miss, she's, hers. E. Explain again. Y. You just want to feel special. T. Tomorrow will repeat. H. Hide my hair in my hat. E. Effort in the way I walk, talk, stand, and sit, and make them see I'm real. We are real. T. Tell them that people like you struggle every day because no one will take you seriously because you can't be out of the binary they made you fit into when you were just barely able to speak yourself. And H. How they folded you up into an uncomfortable figure to look and act like everyone else because of what you were born with and what was expected of you, and that box was tight and you couldn't spread your wings because God forbid you break that box, you'll end up a lot more broken. So you fold your wings and hide behind what you already know, what everyone else already knows, because it's easier to exist to hide it than to show it, easier than the onslaught of questions about what you are and why you are the way you are when all you want to do is exist as your true self because your wings are getting cramped and your mind is blank, scratching its way out, wanting to be free and show the world you are not afraid, but you are, so you keep the monster at bay and reach out to show the world you are real and what you are is real and no label can contain all the ingredients of what makes you, you. S. Simply exist as me. They, them, theirs. Each week during our meetings, and she will surely capture your attention with her poem. Give it up for the brilliant Angelina Doe.
High school students all over the world look down on each and every day. No one to rely on for help, not even their own parents. The people that surround us all gleam with disappointment. What's wrong with you? Why can't you be perfect? You'll never succeed. Expectations, they cut us and we're just a piece of meat. Everyone associates suffers from the words that speak expectations. Those parents who strive to make us perfect are the ones who do it for themselves. We seek validation, but our parents only see our dismay. You ask for leeway? How dare you? I gave birth to you and now you treat me like trash? All I want is a life where you're not adding expectations next to the ones you already built. For you, it's as easy as picking up a pen. Your words seep through my brain and control my thoughts. We ask only for recognition, not as a displayed, perfect object, but as a human being who can't be perfect no matter what. Your images of my perfection are drifting away into the wind. Telling lies to cover up our wounds that have scarred our hearts, trying to hide the truth to them and acting like we didn't care, acting like we can do it, acting like we had everything together. I love you. I do this because I love you. Is this acceptable? You never think of me. Those people who are conceited are the ones who care only about how they feel or that looked at through others' eyes and not how we feel as their birth child. Oh, please, time freeze. Expectations haunt us 24/7, yet we conceal it like cuts and bruises on our arms. My heart crumbles by the thought of you. They'll always lurk behind us wherever we go. It's a never-ending war between us and them. Standing there, you don't realize my raging, undying pain that you've caused. It's like I'm living in a hierarchy with my parents as king and queen, and with me as a peasant, shunning away those tears that burn me from the inside out, always trying to expect something that I can't accomplish. Why can't we all be happy? Why can't our parents be content with what we do?
Give it up for Angelina Doe. Now, welcome to the stage another one of our youngest poets of the night, sharing with us her journey of heartbreak and strength. Give it up for Caitlin Kelly.
Have you ever felt alone, scared, lost? Have you ever felt broken? Monday, 11:15 p.m., just one day after our visit with Aunt Dan. Where are we going? No, her last story. I could feel the darkness. My mom and dad don't listen. They say they know what we are going through, but they really don't. They said she died peacefully, but she was in pain. She was my rock, my world, my superhero. She listened to me. She never really told me she loved me. She wasn't really a talker. But she did show me she loved me in her own way. You came to meet me when I was born. You were there since day one. I love you. I have never felt closer to you than when you were dying. I'm scared. I need you. Please, come back to me. Please? Why did you have to go? Why? Is this really? Goodbye? Goodbye. I need you. I miss you and love you. Will I ever be whole again?
This next poet explains how she found an unlikely resource to help her navigate new beginnings and her high school experience. Put your hands together for Kat Winsky.
When my friends ask me what the hell color guard is, I don't want to tell them what I always do, the right answer. It's easy to get tired saying, we're the dancers with the flags and guns in the marching band. Yes, we spin indoors after that. Yes, my arms hurt. Yes, I'm in drum corps like marching band, but not for my school and with no woodwinds. No, I want to tell them about the shade of gold the sky turned when I watched my first world-class drum corps with the first group of people that I let myself tell the truth around. I want to tell them about the electricity that fills your body when your flag rises and falls in time with 23 others around you. I want to tell them about my captains with the caring words and busted kneecaps and the first people I've known out there on that field who taught me that life was worth the trouble. Yes, I see how so many of my old friends' faces go dull at the sound of words like 1.545, but God, I refuse to go quiet again, because for too long it has been easy to stop speaking and smiling. Since 7th grade, it has been too easy to tell myself that there will never be a place where I am seen as more than half human, to stay locked in my room and out of group chats and for the 5th time in 5 hours cry because I would have done more good if I had died before my grades curved close to D's and my chest refused to. Since 7th grade, it has been easy to feel sick when I see my reflection, to choke on a tongue that only knows how to say sorry. It has been easy to turn my back to any promise of a world that would not handpick my friends and publish my prose and hand me my predefined perception of perfection, and it has been easy to let myself break. But color guard was not easy, and I found home in how little I understood it. In 9th grade, I picked up 6 feet of silk and steel. I was tasked with tourniquet splits and toss turnarounds, and it was not easy. Forcing my arms and equipment to fly at angles I didn't think the laws of physics would allow, but more than I ever thought I would, I fought for them to do so. Because more than I could ever say with a metaphor marked down to make my instructors cry, I liked color guard, the competitions and camps and choreography, and I loved my team, with every inside joke and all-nighter, and promised that together we would find something than the 80 different kinds of disaster we had grown used to. And yes, there were days when I fumbled to find ways to laugh off my failures, but I didn't stop when I failed to understand the work. I didn't stop when my wrists were strained and I was leaving those 9-to-9 practices asking if what I could do would ever be enough for my new family. And in spite of how long I taught myself for year after year that I would never measure up, I broke the yardstick and stayed to shatter it further with every season. I stayed when the counts and checkpoints refused to make sense, stayed when my equipment grew a pound heavier from the rain or burned from the sun, stayed when my caption heads asked me if I would ever understand the work they had to give me. when I refused to go quietly like I had so many times before, I found that there was more good in this world than my 7th grade self could have ever rolled her eyes at. I stayed in the name of every last teacher and teammate that promised me I was capable of greatness too. Stayed for band camp sunsets, for cans of Monster, chugged at competitions, and every last one of those split seconds when you look around that field and know that your guard, your band, your core is your home more than any other place or person has ever been. I stayed because for so long it has been so easy to sit down and say that hope is long gone and love is dead. But when I am under the floodlights standing with this family of mine, I know that home is only 4 counts and a flag away.
Give it up for cats! Through the use of powerful imagery and symbolism, our next poet finds strength and courage to deal with life's hardships. Welcome to the stage, Jen Molia. Hey, y'all.
When you feel it for the first time, you won't know what it is. All you'll know is that you don't want to feel it ever again. It's the feeling of tarantulas inhabiting your stomach rather than butterflies, the feeling of heat and chills and paranoia and just fear, all at once. The feeling that makes you want to curl up into a ball and cry right in the center of your middle school auditorium during a kickball game because, of course, that's where you felt it. When you feel it for the 5th time, you'll decide that something needs to be done. They catch you, won't know what that something is, and you'll pace your pink-walled, purple-carpeted childhood bedroom, waiting for some kind of magical sign or solution to come to you, speak to you, assure you with open arms, I can fix you. But instead, you'll wrap yourself in all those blankets, the only place where you've been able to escape from your own head lately, and finally drift off to sleep. When you feel it for the first time after a therapy appointment, you'll get an odd sense of hope. I know what this is now. You'll tell yourself, I can handle it. But when the same old cookie-cutter breathe in, breathe outs just aren't working, and you found the mental toolbox that your doctor told you to use, but it's empty, you'll realize that there has to be another way. There has to be another way to live, right? You'll look around at the rest of the kids walking down the hallway. You'll remember how they don't have a hurricane swirling in the prefrontal cortex of their own brain like you do. You'll ask yourself what they would do if they were drowning like you are. Would they gasp for air like you did the first time you felt it? Would they feel their lungs fill up with water like you did the 5th time you felt it? Would they cling to a lifesaver with grabby hands until it was yanked out from under them by their own subconscious like you just watched yourself do? Would they feel okay with giving in and sinking like you want to? But after you shoot up and get out from under the waves, you'll remind yourself, there has to be another way to live. And when you feel it for the 300th time, it won't hit you as hard, the panic won't rock your entire body like an earthquake, this time it'll only feel like a mild shower, and you'll know exactly what to do. You'll breathe and count to 5 and 10 and 30 and notice the way the clouds in front of you are shaped like flowers or the way the grass crunches under your feet. You will finally feel like you've gotten better, like you're getting better, and you are every day.
How you guys enjoying the show so far, eh? A whole lot of talent here at Mineola. My fellow poets have inspired me to do another poem for you all here today. This one, as I like to say, is my way to organize my word vomit. I have a disease. Some days I can't get out of bed, and the worst part of my chronic pain is it's all inside my head. When the weather's heavy, wet, and gray, my mind is in a different place, but then when it's sunny, warm, and dry, but even then I'd still feel the sky fall down, and my face will hit the ground, and no amount of motivation will make me come around. I medicate, self-deprecate, asphyxiate in my own self-hate, and at any rate the day will come where I've had enough, and I'm tired of being numb. Life is like a swing you ride when you were young, the back and forth and dipping and flying you feel is a feeling that happens in minutes between an emotion. I'm so happy, but I'm so sad. It's not sadness, it's a hopelessness, emptiness. You'll ask yourself, what's the point? At the things that made you happy, the things that made you so happy, it's suddenly a feeling of apathy. Why should I care? You know why you should care, but you can't. It's not about being sad, it's about feeling apathetic. I'm surrounded by love and no love enters me, a disconnect of the people who want to shower me in love, but I can't give it back. Surrounded by people, by my friends, by my family, by the man I once called my love, and yet I still feel alone. What does depression look like to you? Does it look like the girl with the long hair, the long black hair who hides her wrists and her tired red eyes with piercings down her ears and scars on her thighs? Does it look like the boy who hasn't showered in days, whose hair falls in matte clumps down his face, whose hands are bruised and breath smells of cigarettes and booze? Does it look like the perfect child with good grades, whose clothes are neatly pressed and coordinated, who hides their emotions with cleverness and skill, the teacher's pet? How about the kid who smiles brightly every day, with a joke for every situation, someone you associate with joy and happiness? A disease affects all of us, a disease we cannot see. Past the layers of smile and laughter is an ugliness that fills our heads. Sure, I bring you joy with a familiar smile and a crack of a joke, but what you don't see is the state of my messy room which reflects the mess in my mind. Do not look at myself, this mask I've made. Ask me about my day, my week, month, life, but even then I feel a compulsion to tell you I'm okay. My mind is Pandora's box without hope at the very bottom, and you, who are Pandora, don't deserve to see my darkness that I fear is contagious. Depression is my disease. It takes and it takes and it takes so much away from me. But the worst part of the days where it feels like I've broken from the chains, only for the chains to catch me again and pull me back into the dark. I play fetch with the darkness. It throws my hope across the field. I pick it up and I run with it. And while I run with the golden glow and warmth of hope, I feel content. I feel safe. I run from the darkness and I protect my hope. I will run for days. Sometimes I'll run for years. But the darkness catches me and it takes away my ball of hope and it throws it again and I run after it and my cycle repeats. Do I look depressed to you? When I'm smiling and when I sing you my heart on this stage, do I look depressed to you? Would you ever know I suffer from this silent disease? What does depression look like to you? Thank you very much. I know it's a little heavy. We were trying to figure out how to segue from that into the next, but alas, no script could kind of fix that mood change. So, to butcher this abrupt ending to that, writing poetry gives us the opportunity to express our deepest emotions, and performing it makes it come to life. We can even write about a topic that hasn't happened to us directly, but that affects many people around the world. Our next poet, Kayla Ortiz, expresses her thoughts on an issue that has touched her heart. Give it up for Kayla!
Where are you going? When will you be back? Are you even coming back? You left me, alone, afraid, confused. Where could you have gone that you can't bring me with you? What could be so important that I can't be there? So many questions running through my mind, like how you ran out of my life, without the reassurance of a reasonable answer from you. You need to give me the answer. I feel lost in an empty world that is just question after question, but one question can't be answered because you're not here. Why? Was it me? Was it my body? My hair? If it's me, I'll change. I'll change if you could just come back. You're ugly and fat. You're stupid. You aren't good enough. That's what I thought before. But in truth, it wasn't me. It was you. You ripped out my roots and walked away. I accepted the fact that you left, that you won't be coming back, because it was your fault. I grew my own roots, and I sprouted the greenest leaves and the brightest flowers, because I am not the worthless person you thought I was. You lost the best thing in your life. You lost the prettiest soul, the smartest mind. You lost the person you should have cherished the most.
A message I believe that resonates with a lot of us. Through the use of figurative language and his captivating performance, our next poet proves that love has no limits, no boundaries, and can stretch across the farthest distance. Please give it up for Shadav Khan.
take many forms. You can love yourself, you can love your family, you can love your friends. But one kind of love stands over all others. The kind of love that drives you to lengths you've never imagined yourself being in. The kind of love filled with up and downs, rolling hills of tension where you're not sure if you want to run away or surrender. I love you. There's a whole list of compliments I could throw at you, but none of them can do you justice. Beneath your pretty eyes is a soul with so much complexity and entropy. But even so, to me it's clear to see the beauty of your storm, whose thunderstrikes echo across the star-filled cosmos of your mind. The very mind which brilliantly composes the symphony of love that you communicate to me, with quaint vibrations that emit from your mouth, and heal my bewildered heart, that tells the moths in my stomach that you're the brightest light I can see, almost convincing me to trek on a crusade 600 miles to your door so you can reintroduce me to the warmth of your sacred arms and bless me with your glimmering smile. There's thousands of analogies that can be made, but words cannot express the deep adoration I have for you. I love you.
Our next poet voices the concerns of the modern-day student. She tackles one of the most relevant current issues that is striking fear in the hearts of teens worldwide. Give it up once again for Kat Lindsay.
My papers just got stuck there. I am so sorry. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. I don't understand pre-calc at all, and the majority of people I know cannot spell serenade or sophistication if you asked them on the spot, but my friends and I are smart in ways that matter more than they should. We know to take a lunch table closest to the door because from there it's easiest to run out into the parking lot and to one of our houses at the sound of a gunshot because no sensible person would follow the protocols drilled into us since freshman year where we stand against a wall and pray that whoever is firing doesn't choose to walk into the room filled with 200 targets at a time. We know what angles to turn ourselves at so the light from the hallways doesn't hit us in a way so a greasy kid with an AK in his arms could see us at a glance. From the floor of my living environment class under a desk, you can see the blue of the lockdown alarm flash against white linoleum. Blue like the nails I painted, the color the boy who once called me his princess said suited me best, and I asked myself how long it would be until he found out if my body were to be filled with bullets like one too many have in buildings like this. I wonder if my friends would find the right classrooms to run into with bulletproof glass on the doors, that they'd call him when their injuries faded enough to let them take off their oxygen masks, and call him, or if he wouldn't know until next July when he asks why my marching band is one flag short. I wonder what color they would make my memorial ribbons because my friends told me I looked best in the color red, but blue was the color of the drum corps down in Ohio. I wanted to make more than anything, but maybe both have already been taken by one of the 400 kids shot down before me. I wonder what they'd say about me before they hold moments of silence in my memory and how many of those they would have if they bury me with my bracelet from championships on or if I'd lose it while I was running away from the killer I once shared an algebra class with. I wonder what they would do for my friends' memorials and how the hell I would cope if I walked into a school with a student body of 995 and left with half of them dead before 5th period. I wonder when and why it became normal to ask what's going to happen when I die in a school shooting. More than I have ever been of Sunday nights spent bent over projects due tomorrow and bathroom stalls that leave you choking on air saturated with mango-flavored nicotine, I am tired of the jokes, making top 10s of classmates most likely to take down take out an assault rifle during a test, and laughing at the idea of teachers leaving students for dead if they can't run into a class fast enough, in the same breath we take to ask what tonight's homework is. I am tired of the apathy, tired of future victims of this fake hearing of protests and walkouts and telling me that it is an excuse to miss class, then asking me what I got on the test. Don't ask me for the percentage of questions I've answered correctly when I have to calculate the percentage I have of making it through sophomore year without being shot down. With votes cast and calls made to men and women who cannot fathom this feeling, so many of us are trying to sculpt David out of the concrete poured before us. And if I do not bleed out today or tomorrow at hands that should never be able to so easily purchase devices designed for death, I refuse to keep living in a nation where the thought of my death defines my graduating class.
One more poem that I feel really resonates with a lot of us here. I'm gonna let her take it away.
Y'all thought it was over. An open letter to my 8th grade self. Kat, it's been a while since someone's called your name, I know. As much as I want to, I won't ask you to quit theater and chorus, though I know how much it's hurt you. I know that since you were 12, you've been forcing Theater Kid into your social media bios and praying to a God you've been told sees who and how you love and loathes you for it, that one day you'd open your mouth and the voice of the alto with a solo next to you would come out, because no one cares about writing like they do about singing, you told your mom. And when your best friends unknowingly, inevitably drift from where your ink-stained arms can reach because lead rehearsals are long and the cast is their family after all, you don't know where their neglect ends and the nagging of a mind genetically predisposed to breaking down begins. And you go through checklists of what achievements must automatically bring the comfort you didn't get when you were crying over cast lists. Checklists claiming that you cannot be loved until your name is printed onto every playbill, until your plays are published before you're 16, until you're somebody's girlfriend. Each time one box is marked, a new until sits ready to kill with its inability to fill whatever was taken from you when you turned 13. And until the summer before your sophomore year, you'll find it easiest to think that your world is one that will never be worthwhile. But I won't ask you to quit theater when you're running uncut fingernails across your legs in ruddy pink bathrooms during run-throughs of Act 2 and counting reasons why you stuck with this B of Beacon BS. Because when you come out from behind those velvet curtains kicking and screaming, you'll find the person you've become standing under floodlights with a flag in hand would not be here if you hadn't broken down 5 times before. I know that right now you're standing 7th wheeling on the outsides of social circles, and you'll think it's easy to say that love is dead. But when your lungs give out, not from holding notes too long, but from struggling to stifle laughter with your friends, yes, you're gonna make those. You'll find it easier to see that 8th grade you was one hell of a liar, and this time you spent not knowing what that feels like only makes you more aware that each little promise that you'll be alright is not to be left unnoticed. In a year, the baritone boy you used to like, yes, there will come a day when your brain and heart speak in unison, saying polos and gym shorts were never cute, will come calling, claiming that life is hell because he has been told stop for the first time, and you will look back on your 16-odd years and see that your first time reading poetry to a crowd, the taste of pineapple pizza at 2:45 in the morning, screaming 80 songs with all your drunk core friends, and the way the stars look in Rhode Island will all come to mind before your crying does. It won't be your first thought, but the crying will always be one of them. When you look at your life, and you can roll your eyes at me if you want when I say this, but it will make you strong. A fighter armed with the knowledge that the enemies in your head are far more mortal than you. Kat, I won't ask you to quit theater, but I will beg you not to forget the good you have yet to see, and I will tell you that the sun will rise the second the last spotlight dies out.
This next poem will have you questioning the influence of society and the strength people need in order to break the mold. Welcome back to the stage, Kayla Ortiz, with her thought-provoking and powerful poem, We Are All Human.
society, the savior and the menace, the internet, the hero and the villain. We're put into categories as if we're all different, which means we need to be classified differently. Men, women, children, white, black, Latino, Indian, Muslim, Jewish, Catholic, gay, straight. There's only one word I believe we should be classified as, and that's humanity. We're all the same yet different. We're similar to the animal kingdom. So many different species, but still the same. Dogs, cats, elephants, horses, wolves, cows. Yet we still can't live in peace with each other. In the wild, these majestic living beings are able to live in peace and harmony, but we live like savages. Skin color, sexuality, religion, gender, ethnicity, appearance. We're still trying to find our place at the top of the food chain, but haven't we already succeeded at being at the top of the world? We have money, education, power, houses, clothing, technology. Why are we still trying to compete to be better than your fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, aunts, and uncles? Why is tragedy the only reason we come together? Why do we have to lose to unify? We grieve for people we don't even know, and the reason for that was because people died. When you think about it, it's kind of pathetic. But you know what? That's just who we are. And I don't see us changing anytime soon. We are the human race, and we act like it. Jealousy, lies, ignorance, greed, war, betrayal. Will this ever end? Can we overcome ourselves? We are human after all.
Our next poet writes on a whim after soaking in the world around her. Her ideas are flawless and her performance is powerful. Her next two poems will really have you in your feelings. Give it up one more time for Jen Molia.
You know exactly who she is. She walks into school every morning wearing something tight and probably uncomfortable, but she doesn't care. She brings all your stuff to your locker for you, including that clunky, smelly football bag, without a second thought. But she doesn't care, because she loves football. She loves watching you play football. She loves watching you do anything, because she's a cool girl. Cool girl walks you from class to class, even if she's late, and she never complains. She even pays for your lunch and for your drinks for practice after school and whatever you want from the vending machine. Cool girl goes out with you and all of your probably gross friends after school, despite the fact that she has hours of homework and shoves ridiculous amounts of food in her mouth so she can keep up with all the guys. She stays out as long as you want, even though she wants to go home. She even goes back to one of your friends' houses to play video games and eat freezer hot dogs and pretend to be fine with you trying to sneak cheap drinks from their parents' fridge. Why? She's cool. Now, cool girl comes in many different shapes and forms. For the jock, that's what she looks like. For the nerd, she's got big glasses and has read every comic book imaginable, and yes, she will absolutely watch every Star Wars movie with you. For the art and music guy, she can play any instrument you want, write songs about how strongly she feels for you, and will even listen to every single one of your crappy band's practices, all the while sitting there with hard eyes. Why? She's cool. And that's the biggest compliment you believe you can bestow on her. Not that she's beautiful, or smart, or well-rounded. Nope, she's cool. You boast to your friends in the middle of a class, you should probably be paying attention. Oh, my girlfriend? Nah, she's cool. But what happens when cool girl does not want to be cool anymore? What happens when, hey, maybe she wants to dress comfortably for her school day because she's got some big tests to take, tests she didn't even get to study for because she was out doing whatever you wanted until God knows how late, far too late for a school night. What happens when she can't bring your disgusting smelling gym bag down to your locker because she needs to be on time for her first period class for once in her high school career? What happens when she realizes that she hates football and greasy pizza and 4th, 5th, 6th wheeling with the guys? What happens when she realizes she's staying out so late putting up with you that her parents are starting to wonder where the hell she is every night? It has to happen at some point. Because cool girl doesn't get mad. She simply smiles sympathetically, nods, says, "It's fine, hon, I'm okay with it, don't worry," and moves on. But eventually, the cool girl cover-up cracks. And the answer to those questions mentioned before is simple. When all of it comes crashing down around her, she realizes that cool girl never existed. Cool girl was a figment of real girl's imagination, a fantasy of a boy who wanted too much too fast from a scared young woman who doesn't even have the slightest clue of who she is yet. And when cool girl fades away, you know exactly what you do. You badmouth her to your friends. You complain that she was never really down for you anyway. And you utter those dreadful words, "Oh, that girl I was seeing? No, she's not cool anymore." The truth, she's gonna be just fine on her own. Believe it or not, she'll survive without you telling everyone you know just how cool she is. She's gonna find someone who thinks she's determined and intelligent and hardworking and amazing and the best thing that's ever happened to them. Then, being cool in your eyes won't matter to her anymore. Woo! Awkward transition, I'm doing another one. When I met him, the only thing that I knew was I had no idea what would come next. In the beginning, I thought about him the way you think about a favorite song. I played his eyes and his hair on repeat in my head, and the amount of minutes I spent overanalyzing glances across a crowded room and Instagram comments could fill an album. The second time I met him, I knew it was over. We talked and we laughed and we hugged, and every interaction was printed on the inside of my brain, but the warning label didn't read parental advisory, but naive teenage girl falling too fast, still advisory. It didn't alert me of explicit content, but potential to break your heart and have no idea that he's doing it, and still I listened on and on and on. I put his discography on shuffle inside my mind until I grew sick and tired of every lyric, every instrument, every verse, every chorus, every line, every sound. Now, he never listened to my compositions. He never even gave me a feature on one of his, and when I met him for the third time, that is when I realized that when he pressed play on the track in my library titled Falling in Love featuring Happiness, he became the artist. He controlled when to press play or pause or fast forward or rewind or even stop. He tried to change the title, Falling in Love featuring Anxiety produced by trust issues and depression, and I knew I couldn't let it happen. So the seventh time I met him, I tapped on his name in my brain, selecting the only option I could use to save myself. Remove from library. I've fallen in love with music ever since. Thank you.
Yeah, we do have a whole lot of talent here in Mineola. Now I know you're thinking, oh, please don't tell me this guy's going to do another poem. But ta-da! This actually was inspired by Kat's poem about to her 8th grade self, and
We love our peers.
yeah, we do love our peers, and I just want to say that that's like the awesome part of this club is that we all fed off of each other, and like I can tell you now, none of us started this great, except for maybe like Kat and Jen, and actually all of us probably started this great, but we started even, I mean, we became even like better, which is like the cool part. So, as I said, I want to thank Kat specifically for inspiring me to write this to my 8th grade self, because, God, they need to hear it. Josie, I know you hate the world right now. I hate the world right now, too. I know you think everyone is out to get you, and I know you want to be the cool guy you see yourself as in your favorite TV shows. I know your self-worth is built upon the lies mom taught you, and I know you think it's cool and edgy to hate your mom. I know it's easier to run from your problems and build a personality on hating the world because you hate yourself. And I know you think that once you have him, your world will be complete. I'll tell you now. You did have him. You had him for 4 beautiful years. Some days will be stressful and you will fight. Fight a lot, but you'll remember what making up is about when you're next to him and he holds you in his arms, and you remember why you stayed. You'll have many adventures with him. You will walk through woods on a cold February afternoon, and you will keep him on his toes as you try to walk across a frozen pond that cracks beneath every step you take. You will walk through a bustling city at 1 in the morning after screaming your heart out with him at your favorite band's concert. Your knees will feel weak when you're walking the High Line for the first time, and you will feel joy when he takes your hand and he shows you the beauty of the city. He loves the city. He will be very good to you too, and he will treat you properly, and he will spoil you with love. He will spend money on gifts he knew would be perfect. He will drive in the middle of the year's worst snowstorm to make sure you're okay and your home safe. He will bring you so much joy. He will make you believe that you'll be okay and nothing will hurt you. You will believe that nothing will ever tear you two apart. You will also believe that you are nothing without him. You will believe that his love is the only one you'll get because you think you are unlovable to everyone else. You will grow nervous when he doesn't touch you like you think he should. You will panic when he begins to fade. Josie, don't be afraid when this happens. Josie, it'll be okay. Josie, you're still you without him. There will come a day when you need to say goodbye. You won't be ready when it comes, and it won't be as beautiful as it is in our stories. There is no pretty metaphor for your goodbye. It's abrupt, bitter, and it'll leave you broken and empty. You'll blame yourself and pick apart everything you did wrong. You'll rip yourself apart and break yourself down into pieces, repeating, if I just did this, if I just said that, if, Josie, you need to move on. Josie, he is no reflection of your worth. I know you think you need him. I think I need him too. It wasn't your fault he didn't ask you out sooner, and it wasn't your fault he left later. Josie, when he tells you he feels nothing, he's lying to himself. His suffering compared to yours isn't a reflection of your strength. Josie, when he tells you you are intolerable, he is hurt and he doesn't know it. Josie, I know every time you make a wish on a star, on a candle at 11, both AM and PM, I know we wish for a happy ending. I know that happy ending is a happy ending with him. I know it's all you want, but Josie, wish for a happy ending for you. Josie, a day will come where he will make you the happiest person in the world, and there will be a day where he makes you want to die. Josie, live to show him you are strong. It's okay if you lose yourself sometime along the way. I don't know who I am yet, but I know we will find them deep in ourselves. I know we are both hurt and abandoned by the world. I know we lost a lot of people along the way, and I know the loss is something that haunts us each passing day, but Josie, feeling this sadness is what makes us human. Josie, you are not just his girlfriend, you are not just his ex. You are Josie, and you will mess up, and you will mess up a lot. But Josie, you will pick yourself up, and you will continue to move on, because that is who we are. Josie, I know life is hard right now, and I know you want to give up on yourself, on the world, but Josie, that is not who we are. A broken boy will not define who we are. So Josie, Jay, JJ, Joe, Jojo, Joss, whoever you are right now, or whatever you are right now, and whenever you are right now, you will grow and you will know that, Josie, you are going to do great things. We are going to do great things.
I don't know how the judges are going to choose one particular student out of that. That's really hard. Good luck. So in the meantime, we're going to give them a couple of minutes. We're going to see what will happen if you come up with somebody. But I figured we would open it up to if you have some questions for them, because those are pretty deep topics. Feel free. Yeah, you can. Yeah, cool. Go ahead, whatever you want. Whatever you need. They were awesome. They're not done. They'll still bow. Don't worry, people. They'll bow. They're not done yet.
Ooh, Mr. Escobar is the first question, guys. Get ready. It's a toughie.
Okay, before I ask a question, I have a few things I want to say. First, just the presentation of the stools, the lighting, whoever idea that was, it was excellent.
We love you, Miss Audiino. Miss McDonnell.
Second, the words that you spoke, every one of you was so powerful. I mean, it's like it becomes like a visceral feeling that you have. But not only that, some of you created such an image, like the image of eating pineapple pizza at 2:45 in the morning, listening to 80s music was like perfect. And third, the actual presentation, how you each of you in your own way actually like spoke to the audience was It was really incredible, and you really should, all of us should give them a round of applause. Now my question is, if we did not have this night, would you still be writing this, whether it's at home or at school or in the middle of the night or in the morning?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've been writing since like kindergarten, first grade, so it's kind of out of the question.
Yeah, I think it's just a really good way to vent no matter what you're doing. Like Kat, we've all been writing for such a long time, whether for school or for fun. It's just a good way to get your stress out. So, yeah.
Yeah, I've been writing for quite a while now, and this gave me an opportunity to say what I wanted to say.
I've been writing for a little while, although my parents don't know about it until like just recently. So, surprise! I'm a little bit emo, to be honest.
I haven't really written much, and this night has been such a huge opportunity for me to get my feelings out.
I agree with Shadab. I really haven't been writing. This let me express my feelings in a way I've never been able to say something. I've been able to express my feelings a lot more. Thank you, Miss Audiino.
Keep it up.
Oh, Miss Sloan has a question. First of all, whoa, I don't.
First of all, just wow. I have or have had half of the people on that stage, and I'm blown away. Loved it. Oh my, I don't even know, my spontaneous utterance was a distraction. She was utterly away. Oh, it was. Amazing. So, obviously, writing a poem you wrote takes a skill and talent that just not everybody has. So that was astonishing to hear. But my question is, the performance of your poems, first of all, thank you. And second of all, the question is, did you find that, so you kind of just touched on it a little bit, but did you find that therapeutic or like cathartic, / was the performance different than the writing? Like, was it cathartic in a different way?
I would say yes, for sure. I think, like you said, the writing is separate from the performance. I have never said it like I said it there. She has never said it like she said it there. I know for a fact. It just kind of comes out. Like when you're in the like little meetings, like you say it, and it's like, yeah, good job. But I think like for all of us, when we got up there, like that's the best we've all ever done it. It's a separate thing.
To be honest, when I started, when I started, you know, like when we started the meetings and we started expressing it, I was sort of like stiff. I was like, I don't know if I should really do this. And then like these last couple of days, it's just like, you just gotta let it out. It's really,
Okay. It was a lot different for me. The writing process really brought back a lot of emotions. But when I was performing it, I felt like I was letting go. I understood that it's okay to be upset, but then there's a point in time that you just have to let go. They're always going to still be in your life, but you always have to remember that they'll always be with you in some way, shape, or form.
First, Mr. Gavin and I are going to do a poem. We're going to do a poem. It's going to be a response to you, and there's no way we're going to be as good as you are. Totally kidding. We are definitely not doing that. Jen, sorry. It would take me much longer than the conversation we can have here now. But the first thing I'd like to say is, I'm in awe of your honesty and your bravery. So, I speak in front of people all the time, and I could not do that. I could not do that. I could not do it with the honesty and the emotion and the passion in which you did it. So, this was one of my favorite things I've done all year. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. I don't have a question, I just have appreciation, so thank you. I don't have a question either, I just have a couple of comments. You know, I watch all of you walk in the morning, and I see your smiling faces sometimes. Sometimes you're not so smiling faces coming into the morning. I see Caitlin come out of her grandmother's car every single day. So, I just didn't know all of that was inside of you. And to have this night, and to have this venue, and like the lighting, and the staging, and the way you're sitting on those stools, and everything that's coming out tonight, I have some applause for you, and for your parents. Amazing, absolutely amazing. I'm glad I'm not judging.
P.S. yours.
Ha ha.
No, they know they're all winners, right? For the record, right? All my poets, all winners. Okay.
I need a picture. Those of you who know me know I like pictures. I need a picture of you guys without that mic stand there. That thing is just bothering me.
So all winners. I mean, I used to live right next to a cafe in college where they did poetry slams all the time. And you guys are lights out compared to those. They were college students and graduate students in the Bronx doing this. And I really cannot believe how articulate and mature.
She even took notes.
I took notes.
She always takes notes. Hang on. Pause for a picture.
No, they're more special than
1,
else in this room.
2, 3. Beautiful.
So articulate, mature, real. I mean, I cried. I cried, I laughed, I giggled. I mean, I don't know. The visceral reaction that Mr. Escobar was talking about was really real. And it was really real for me. And as each one of you spoke, I felt what you were feeling. And that was lights out amazing. It's unfair that we would have to judge this right now.
We're going to push for 1 second because we have one more thing from the students. Student wants to kind of say something. I'm so sorry. Yes.
Is on?
Yeah.
How you guys doing?
Good.
So, I got a few things to say. I think tonight was awesome. Your poems were all cool. I feel like you guys just let go everything you got, all like sadness, hate, or whatever you got inside, just let it go. And I was wondering, after tonight, do you guys feel like better or something like that? You let it go, part of you.
Just generally.
You know, for everyone, doesn't matter.
I mean, yeah, I'd say I feel pretty good. I haven't really like thought this through, but like I don't know about like you guys, but like I have this thing where like I get like really excited to like be on a stage. Like it's weird because like everyone I know is so scared of like reading stuff to a crowd, and I'm like, yes, I love this. I live for this. So yeah, I feel better, I guess. Yeah.
And writers were validated tonight. You're always complaining about the scab.
Oh yeah.
My mom said that she knows.
Okay, for me particularly, like this, especially that last poem, I feel so much better telling you. But like, trust me when I say poetry and speaking poetry and just telling people that like, I am upset, listen to me because I am upset, and like this being the best way without sounding like I want to die. So like it's really nice to use poetry as a way to show that there's beauty in my sadness.
I feel a lot better. If my poem it was an essay to a poem, and I know I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but I'm proud of myself for getting this opportunity to speak my voice and speak what I feel, and I feel very proud of myself for that, and I thank my 2 lovely teachers over there. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so in a
Watch it up, just do it. Yeah, Edgar, it's actually about you. Can you repeat your question? Because, you know, your voice is just so soothing and everything. So,
after tonight, after your poem, after you said to everyone here, do you feel like a relief, like you let something out of you and you feel better about yourself?
I feel like I just confessed.
Good night.
I love you too, Sheila.
It made me cry every single meeting you read that. I was like,
Okay, so in a minute, I'm going to pass the microphone to...
I have a microphone.
Wow.
Surprise. Can we confer for a moment, Miss Audiino, Miss McDonnell? No, can I confer with you?
Better make sure the mic's off.
While we are conferring... Okay, so in a minute, I'm going to not pass the microphone over to Mr. Borg, because she has one. But before we do that, I just wanted to say thank you to Ms. Audiino and Ms. McDonnell for all of their hard work and dedication to it's really awesome to see this come to fruition. I also want to thank you all for being, and I know I'm being repetitive, but for being so genuine and for making me feel like I was the only person in this room. And that was really, really cool and powerful. So with that being said,
So first I want to second all of the comments made. And because all of your styles and voices are so unique and authentic and raw and emotional and have moved us, we are going to break the rules. We cannot possibly pick a winner. There is no possible way that we can pick some champion because each and every one of you have spoken to us in your own unique way. And so we all have experienced what you have communicated to us in our own unique way. So there's no way to pick a winner. However, we would like to start I think we can say tradition, so because I definitely want to do this next year, and recognize our senior, Miss Josie Jones. And so she will be the recipient of the beautiful medal. And congratulations to all of you. We are in awe of you.
All of you said I will purposely fail and come back next year.
Become a super senior, Josie. Become super senior.